So I just figured I'd sit down. I might not be able to pull up data like I normally do, and this is going to be a semi-short live. But I don't want to miss my lives this week or this year. That's been my goal, is to try and do a live every Tuesday night here at 9 p.m. Central Time. So here I am, and today we're going to be just talking about one thing, which is going to be a correction. So I want to do one correction to last
Mhm.
week's live. Like I said, I was not in the most intellectual point at that point in that live. So it's the Singapore boxes that they are now cutting open. It is not the English boxes, even though some people are questioning whether or not Pokemon may at some point do that to cut down on scalping in the United States if we continue down the path that we currently are. But currently, that is not the case. So that was a misunderstanding by me based on the different things I was hearing. People were talking about English boxes on some of the stuff that I heard, but after going back in the Poke Beach and stuff like that, I did discover that it was Singapore boxes. So basically, Japanese and Singapore boxes are now going to be cut out of the boxes to combat scalping. So just a correction on that. I did want to put that out there for everybody currently out there. The other thing is too is that I just want to talk about Destiny Rivals here. Of course, that's gone. Literally hours. Pokemon was locked up like crazy. Trying to get Pokemon Center ETB was insane. I ended up getting two, but that was it. It didn't go very good when it came down to the overall availability of that particular set. Distribution's looking just as rough again. It's looking just like the last three sets. Once again, Pokemon does not seem to be producing anymore, which is kind of disheartening in a way. We were hoping to see some more production numbers here at some point in time. With the whole thing with MJ Holding, it's definitely another issue that we're going to continue to see. Now that MJ Holding is pretty much selling its own product out, so why would they even release it into Walmart and stuff? Which is something we're seeing quite a bit of. Prismatic Evolution's not showing up on the shelves in Walmart, but yet Target has got some product. It's really starting to cipher in those different directions. Hey, Antonio, how you doing? So there's a little bit of different live format tonight, guys. Like I said, as you guys roll on in, I'm just letting you know I am not at my normal studio. It may be a little echoey, but we're going to work with it here just because, like I said, my goal this year is to be live every Tuesday. So MJ Holding, do I think that they're selling their product and not putting it on the shelf? Yes. Some people on the last video said that that's not unethical. I do agree it's not unethical. Or not having products on shelving is unethical. But what's that now? Best Buy pre-orders sold out in seconds. Yes, it was barely even up. I saw a notification and I went on like literally 30 seconds later and I couldn't even get any product on Best Buy. So Destiny's Rivals is completely sold out. So once again, this is a little bit different format, and I do want to talk about number one. Singapore boxes are the ones that are being cut out, not English boxes. After, like I said, last week I was not in the right state of mind. I will 100% say that. I said that during a live just to make sure everybody was clear that my research capability wasn't quite there, and I was a little bit weak when it came down to that, not going through everything. And once again, there was a lot of discussion about English boxes doing it, and it's not the case. So it's not English boxes. The discussion is, could it happen in English? I do think it is a possibility. Is it unethical for MJ Holding to leave shelves open in Walmart? No, I don't think that that's the unethical part of what they're doing. The unethical part of what they're doing is that they are a service that, like me as a purchaser for Pokemon, I can't go straight to Pokemon International
Mhm.
and purchase product from Pokemon. I have to buy through a company like MJ Holding or through another distributor at that point in time. And when a distributor decides to go and make their own store and start selling product outside of that and not delivering it to the people in the community at MSRP, which they should be doing. So basically, they're doing worse than what even a normal like seller right now does, because they're not getting it at like our wholesale pricing. They are getting it at Pokemon direct pricing, which is absolutely stupid low, because we can see when they do sales on products like during Black Friday and things like that, it gives you an idea how low that they can go on the pricing of an ETB. Do you think that they are paying $32 for an ETB or $36 for an ETB like we are right now currently from buying it from our distributor? No, they're probably getting for like $18. So they are getting that, let's just say Prismatic Evolutions ETB, and they're purchasing right now, and that's a specialty set. So let's just push it and say $25 versus us who are getting them for $36 a piece. They were getting them for $25 a piece, and then they were getting them for $25 a piece and then selling them on the website for Walmart and Amazon for $160 a piece, while the normal individual was getting them for 55, 60, 70, 75, because they weren't getting them from a distributor. The few distributor people that were getting them, of course, is a little bit higher. So the unethical part is that they are not designed or authorized by Pokemon to be a direct sale to the customer. Pokemon delivers to distributors, and those distributors are supposed to deliver the product evenly out to everybody and distribute it to the stores so that the general public can get it. Now, could there be ramifications from Pokemon for doing this? Absolutely. Pokemon could, in theory, do something about it. Will Pokemon probably do anything about it? Probably not, because MJ Holding is probably the largest, if not the largest, wholesaler or distributor for your standard stocks, such as Walmart, Target, all those places. So, is that going to be something that's going to be a repercussion for them? Maybe futuristically, if times slow down, if things shift in the market, it could be, but currently I don't think that Pokemon's really going to go after that. So, Destiny's Rivals. Now, we're going to go into that a little bit more as we say. Antonio talking about Best Buy gone in seconds. Pokemon Center was completely locked up on release. If you were lucky enough, when I got on there, it was a waiting list now. So they went to a wait list to try and reduce the load on the sales side of things and trying to reduce the load going through the cash registers. At Pokemon Center, they had a wait list. So basically, when you got in, you got a wait list, and you went through a wait list. Now, did that do anything against bots? I don't know, because it would still force people to the bot to, instead of just rapid fire, they would have to go to the end of the line, work through the line again. So that may have been a good way for them to potentially run into bots. Now, let me know if everybody else got that situation, because that's when I went on the Pokemon Center on release. I got put in a wait line. I waited for about 20 minutes. Once I got through the wait line of the 20 minutes, then I was able to purchase two ETBs from Pokemon Center. Or was it one? One? No, two. I got two. So I got two of the Pokemon Center ETBs waiting in line going through the system. So I did get two of them. And so once again, though, I think that would have been a good way potentially for them to try and stop bots and give the average person an opportunity to get in there. So if you got in early, get on the list, you went through, you were able to get the ETBs, then you probably did fantastic by getting in on that. And that's probably a great way that Pokemon may have found a way to combat bots. So that's probably a multiple thing. So yeah, I was about 20. I'm going to go back up here real quick. So it's a little bit different me doing it live sitting. So if the phone shakes, I do apologize. But yeah, so basically it was about 20-minute wait when I got on, maybe 20, maybe 15, 20, somewhere in there. And it went rather smooth. So we went in, we got in, purchased them. No big deal, so it was actually really, really nice. I didn't have to worry about fighting bots. Journey Together, I didn't get any of the Pokemon Center ETBs, so I was really happy to be able to get the Destin Rivals here, so I'm really, really excited to get that one. So hopefully everybody out there that watches the channel has had a great opportunity to get in on those and get an opportunity to get those ETBs. Like I said, a little bit better luck than what we were seeing with some of the other sets with the bots. But yeah, like I said, great things going on. The queue. So what do you see here? I'm just kind of reading the chat this time because, like I said, I'm planning on only doing about half an hour, 45 minutes here tonight, guys, just so everybody's aware. So if you do got questions, put them down below. I did want to correct what I had said before, and once I got through the research and really got into what was going on there. And I also just want to talk about Destiny's Rivals, how quickly it sold out. Best Buy, gone in seconds. I got a notification from Best Buy, and by the time I loaded it up, it was gone. So Best Buy's cleaned out already. A lot of the pre-orders are already cleaning up. We got a couple people that have said hi. Banka, thank you so much for saying hi. Welcome into the stream. We got Canna Cookie. He said was in queue for about an hour, but was able to get one. So see, that was a good thing. So I think that was a really good solution that maybe Pokemon has done to at least squelch those bots a little bit, because if they purchase the quantity limit, and then get kicked to the end of the line, then they have to work their way back through the queue again. And so they can't just rapid fire on the purchases where they just keep really quickly recycling and getting more and more purchases. So that's definitely going to be a really interesting way if Pokemon continues to do that during these really, really weird periods of no product. So, and could Pokemon potentially do that? I actually went on there after the release of that, and I did notice that I had to wait in queue to get on there. Now, today I went on and it's no longer a queue, but I'm wondering if there was just so many people still cycling through that the website's actually almost designed now to do that when there's a certain amount of people in there. So I think people might have still been looking at for, Destiny Rivals there, and were cycling through even later in the afternoon, because I went on in the afternoon to see what was available or if there was anything available, and everything was sold out, but I did have to wait in queue for like 5 minutes there. It wasn't very long on the second time I went through, but it definitely was a queue still, but then today there was no queue. So it disappeared rather quickly. So the queue and the day after whenever they came out. So it's been a couple days now, but I did notice periodically I get put in queue when I go to the website. So interesting to see how that's all going to continue to work. And it's a good solution. I think it's a great solution for potentially trying to reduce this and reduce that bot traffic going through the website and giving everybody an opportunity to purchase these products, which is what we're really looking for the collector and for the average person out there that wants to be in the hobby and enjoy it and try and get some of these collectible items such as the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, or buy a booster box or a six-pack blister or those kind of products by reducing the amount that the bots can purchase at one time, or reducing the availability from the do rapid fire purchasing and without having to go back in queue is great. So great things there. Once again, market is starting to kind of slow. The Pokemon market in general, we're starting to see some retraction on some of the high flyers. So, for example, we're starting to see some retraction on like the Bubble Mew the other day. I was checking out the Bubble Mew because I did sell one at about $910 at that little peak where it was almost 1,000, right in that 900 to 1,000. They were selling pretty consistently. So I sold one at 910 that I had out of the two. I still have one back. And now we're seeing that Bubble Mew kind of retrace now. It's down to about $800 to $825 for that. So we're starting to see some retracing on some of the cards. Not all of them. Some of them are still doing extremely well. But we are seeing kind of a slowing or at least a reduction in the pricing in some of these cards. So, and that's going to be something that's probably going to continue for quite a while. We got Lowdown Dirty 100 says, Q went well for me, but they need to fix links on other products. Pretty lame. You couldn't access booster boxes and bundles without direct links. Yeah, that was really frustrating. So from Pokemon Center, I only got the Elite Trainer, the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box from there, just because of the fact that I couldn't get the other stuff to open and I didn't want to risk anything. So I just went out. So the second time I went into the queue, I did get a second one through my other account and still couldn't get into anything. So basically I got two of the boxes, one through mine, one through my wife's account, and going through the queue. So I entered both and they just kind of followed through. But I couldn't get, the links were dumb. I do agree that was kind of an issue that they were having with it. So, the links were an issue. Not going to lie, I was kind of frustrated with that as well. Lowdown Dirty, I absolutely agree that it was kind of pain in the butt, and I didn't take the time to find the direct links and try and find that stuff. I figured I was maybe thinking about doing it a third time, but I just didn't. I was too busy and had other stuff to do. So I just was happy just getting the Elite Trainer, the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. I'm happy to have two of those. That's a really good grab on my part. Rattle Pokemon has a Discord where I got the direct links. Yeah, and I've heard, so on Reddit, I was seeing the direct links as well. After I had already purchased the first time and I tried the second time, I didn't go back the third time to do it. It just, to me, it wasn't worth sitting in queue again for it. I got what I wanted realistically, which was the two ETBs. So I'm happy with Pokemon Center ETBs. That's a good win for me. Pokemon said they will release more at a later day, and they sometimes do that. So I'm kind of hoping that they will do that again. Is do like a multi-release type deal. So that's the one thing that I'm hoping that we will see is that, and they've done it with other products. I'm wondering if we might see that with Prismatic, and we might see that with Journey Together as well. Don't know. Be really nice if we got another round at like Journey Together because of the way it was handled. Bots really cleaned that out. Nobody really had an opportunity to get Journey Together from Pokemon Center. So this one was a good middle ground. I feel that this went well. Overall, the direct link problem, that's a programming issue more than anything, Lowdown Dirty. So I do agree it sucks. But in general, it gave everybody a great opportunity to get in on the products and get an opportunity to purchase in on what they were looking for. So one thing, like I said, going back to the current market right now, Journey Together going crazy. Going to be. We're going into the release. We're going to see how she holds. We're going to see how much product actually shows up in the field. What we get is going to be really interesting. And how things will really work together or work out is going to be really interesting as well. Antonio's right. Pokemon will drop Journey Together on Pokemon Center on release day. They probably will. That's their typical MO when it comes down to, what they have left over. So transactions don't finish through because we didn't pay for Destiny's Rivals right now. When you purchase, you just put in your pre-order and then they charge you when they go to ship it. So we won't get charged for that until the release date of it or the week of the release date from Pokemon Center. But by doing so, of course, people sometimes overspend their cards. Their card numbers cancel. They decide that they don't want it and somehow cancel it or cancel the product before it gets charged. And by doing so, that's definitely where that happens. Where Antonio, you're right, we do usually see the day or the day after release day of Journey Together. We will see potentially, maybe, see another drop of the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes that were not cleaned up. And other products may show up as well. Booster boxes, six-pack bundles, all the stuff that they're sending out with Journey Together may show up on the Pokemon website on the release day of Journey Together. But I would definitely be watching it. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure for here it's 4 a.m. It's like, or 5 a.m. Because I think they refresh Pokemon Center at like 6 a.m. and I always like should start watching it at 5 a.m. Central Time, and I usually catch it right on the release. So if you are looking for it, depending on where you're at in the country, it's going to be pretty late or early, or really early for some people. But definitely, if you're interested in those products, definitely check that out, and be watching that for sure to get those products. So, like I said, and the other, like I said, I'm just trying to making this short because like I'm kind of in Madison right now. I got to go meet with some politicians tomorrow for Farm Bureau and for their schools. So I'm kind of just sitting down here right now waiting. I got to go meet with some people here at about 10 o'clock and basically shake some hands and kiss some babies and try and see if I can get some political stuff done that we need to do. For me, it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So 10 a.m. Pacific. Huh. So that's 9 here. It's usually earlier here for me. It's interesting. So, yeah, if you're Pacific time, then that would be 2 hours. If it's 7 for you, it would be 9 a.m. for me, 10 a.m. Is it 10 a.m.? I don't know. I always start watching at like 5 a.m. because it seems like I always catch stuff right at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, things start rolling out. So, could be just a rollout. That or like the Journey, or be honest with you, I'm actually surprised I did get Destiny's Rivals because I was not paying attention. I was working and I actually just saw the notification come through on the Rattle Discord that it was up. And luckily I had that notification on because I did catch it. So I got lucky. I could have potentially missed it because I wasn't paying attention at the time. So yeah, going through, market's kind of doing what's doing on some of the older sets. Like I said, some of the high flyers, we're starting to see some retract on them. So if you've been holding on to a PSA 10 Bubble Mew, it's starting to retract pretty heavy on that one. There's some other ones that are kind of stalling. So the Charizard, PSA 10 Charizard, has slowed down. The Gardevoir has slowed down. The Drowsy has been lackluster again. So some of the cards are starting to run out of steam, which is pretty typical. I mean, the boom, the hype, the FOMO can only push so far. If people don't want to spend the money on these things, then it isn't going to continue. People probably stay on Pokemon Center for the Team Rocket merch. Yeah, that's true too, because they got all the Team Rocket merch going on right now. So there was a bunch of that available as well. So yeah, people are going to be people are just going to be hunting as well. So a lot of people are just checking it out to see if there's more product available, or if something shows up, or if there's a specific product that people weren't buying. Granted, on that particular set, I don't think that was realistic to think that would happen, but there's always that opportunity that Pokemon reloads more product. I mean, people will keep cycling through, at least for the first couple days after the release of these products. I don't blame them. I kind of do it too, just like I was doing on that day, later on when I got put in the queue again. It literally was just me cycling through to see what was left, if anything was left. And that's going to continue to happen all the way up to release day. Let's be honest, if you didn't get it, you're probably going to keep looking for it for quite a while here, praying that you accidentally run into something that maybe somebody missed. So yeah, market's good. Market's looking good. We're still having good sales. I have not been live for about 3 weeks. So I don't know how the live business is doing right now. Not going to lie. I kind of been selling graded cards, but live business has been shut down because of family issues. Once again, Dad's been down, so I've been taking on a ton more responsibility at work, and that's just life. So with him being down here for possibly 4 to 6 weeks minimum, just before he starts moving really functional again, probably 4 months before he's back up and working again. So that's going to be a little bit of time where I'm going to have to start balancing my time a little bit better. Granted, spring is usually pretty good for HVAC business. It's going to start quieting down as it gets warmer. but I can't give you an update on the live market. I'm not even going to try and give you anything because I have no idea. Online sales have been doing good. We've been having continued online sales. They've been moving fairly well. They've been continuing to flow through pretty evenly, pretty easily. Normal products are just moving at top, not top of the end market, but towards the top of the market, not way like where they are, but I've got them on like the bottom end of normal right now, just trying to reduce sales, but sales are still consistent with that markup price. So for example, sleeve blisters I'm selling for about 750 right now, and I still consistently sell them. So they still move, they keep selling for what I've got. Granted, I don't like selling them that high, but I am trying to, as a business, as I've said on other lives, is just trying to stifle that flow through. You have to continue to maintain sales through hard times, and that's the harder part about business sometimes, is when it comes down to cash flow and how things work and how you plan your business out is definitely the difficult part. You don't want to be a scalper. You don't want to be considered a scalper, but you also need to make sure that you're not selling everything immediately, because algorithm issues, cash flow issues, all those kind of things start to happen if you get a mass dumping of money and you don't find a way to balance that to maintain longevity in sales rather than just short-term quick sales. If the market's good, you can get a ton of product and you can get those quick sales, they're awesome. But when the market is like this, where everything that you would regularly sell at a lower price. So, sleeve blisters, typically when I get them from the distributor, I sell them for, $3.99 from distributor on my websites. Right now, if I get some from the distributor, I'm not getting them at 250, 285 a sleeve blister right now. They're like 320 if I get them on release. So Journey Together will be 325 instead of 385. So they're going to be higher. And then on top of it, right now, if they're the older sets, so like Temporal Forces, we've been able to get products. Stellar Crown all of a sudden got some of the, what are they called, the check lane blisters. So those have become available on the distributors' websites, but they're selling them at MSRP to us. So basically, I am buying sleeve blisters right now to resell at $485 a piece right now for Temporal Forces if I want them. Same thing with the check lane blisters. We're pretty much getting those right now for $550 a piece. MSRP is $5.99. So we're almost paying MSRP right now ourselves from a distributor. So distributor is almost not even worth it at this point in time. If it costs money, I wouldn't even do it. It wouldn't be worth having a membership to a distributor at this point in time, just because it's so dried up. And even Temporal Forces, the reprint that came through, was gone very, very quickly. There was not a lot of time to be able to get in on that, not a lot of time to be able to purchase any products on that. And the products that had to purchase, you had to buy like junk products such as Battle Academy, which, typically I would consider it if they were a little bit loose, if there weren't very many in the market. But there isn't a store right now that you can't go to and buy Battle Academy. I mean, GameStop's got Battle Academy. My GameStop has the whole shelf full of them. Walmart still has Battle Academy. All of my game stores all have Battle Academy. It's something that's just not going anywhere, and won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Hey, Pika Pika, how you doing? Hopefully you're having a good week here and a good weekend. Antonio, people actually figured out how to tell the number in the line you're in at Pokemon Center. It does not surprise me at all. Hey, Jimbo, how's it going, bud? Yeah, a little bit different atmosphere, like I tell everybody as you guys are coming to live. I see a few more people now. We are not at the studio, as you can see. I am down in Madison at our state capitol. I have to go tomorrow and do some lobbying work for the Wisconsin Farm Bureau and also for the school. So I am not missing my live for the week. I don't want to miss my live, but I am just doing it on my phone instead. So, Pika Pika, I got my DR booster box. No Pokemon Center ETB though. Ooh. Yeah, I mean that was just it. I didn't know when they sold out. I like I said, I went through my wife's account right when they got released. I got mine and I got my wife's right away. So it wasn't very. I got two of the PC ETBs. Jimbo says I got zero rocket, which is cool. It's fine though. Haitis says I got my PC ETB. It was smooth. Yeah. Now, that's what we were talking about before you guys came in, is that was the original discussion we were kind of having, is the Pokemon kind of changed their system, and it made it so it kind of combated the bots very nicely. So I'm okay with waiting in queue to get into these things as long as they give us a way to combat these bots. So the bots couldn't do like quick purchases over and over and over and over again. They had to do a purchase, go to the end of the queue, and work through people again. So even if the bots got a few and got quite a few, it really wouldn't have been a huge amount compared to what they usually got. Frank, welcome on in. How you doing, Frank? Hitus, I don't know if I said hi. Welcome on in, Hitus, as well. Thank you so much for dropping in. What's good? Got one Pokemon Center after 1 hour and 30 minutes. Whoa, you must have been right at the tail end of it. Yeah, because we were just talking. Antonio was on for 10 minutes. I was on for about 20, between 15 and 20 on the two that I did. So, yeah, you must have been on the tail end of it where it was getting pretty deep at that point down time after all the notifications went out. So, well, I'm glad you got one. I'm glad that the people that did get one. I'm sorry, Pika. At least you got a booster box, so that's not too bad. At least you got a booster box. That's a bigger thing too. It's nice to be able to get these products. I'm just hoping for I keep hoping and praying on a dream that we get a huge reprint, but it's not happening. We aren't seeing it, and I don't think so. If we're seeing like a Temporal Forces reprint size, this market ain't gonna change. This market's gonna change because people are gonna get tired of it. The one thing that's gonna kill this market faster at this point in time is not a Pokemon reprint. It's the fact that people are just gonna get tired of dealing with trying to get these products. Even businesses. I know there's there's one card shop in town locally that's telling me that they're talking about pulling Pokemon products in general. Just get rid of them because they're tired of dealing with the distributors. They can't get products. They're being told that there's no end in sight from distributors. They're told reprints are coming, but then the reprints are so small, and then they can't. Same thing. They're not buying Battle Academy because they want to get a booster box of Temporal Forces or a case of Temporal Forces booster boxes. It's just not reasonable for them to do that either. They've even said that they've already got Battle Academy from the release that they can't get rid of. It's the only thing left in their shop too. So you're going to start seeing potentially some more product available just because I think some card shops are just going to stop dealing with Pokemon until things correct. And whether or not that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But who knows? We'll see how that's all going to work on that part. So I didn't have Link. Got 20 minutes after drop. 11:20 Central, ended at 11:50. Well, I got mine before 11 o'clock. Because I think I'll have to look. I thought it was before 11 because I'm Central Time too, and I thought it was closer to 10. But because I thought it was a 10, I thought the drop was at 10 a.m. So you would have been. I know it was only up for about an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most. So you would have been right at the backside then. I'll have to check and see because Rattle put up the link, and that's what notified me was Rattle dropped it. Oh, last 10. So, yeah, I was going to say 10. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, 20 minutes after drop. Yeah, I got mine at 10. Because I purchased my first one at like 10:28, and I purchased the second one at 10:35. So, I got both of mine all in the first, 40 minutes of the drop. Let's see here. Hitus, I wonder if the second print of Journey Together booster boxes will have the topper. That's going to be an interesting question. And my vote is yes. Typically, Pokemon doesn't like changing products between print runs. That was always a question that we had when it came down to, why they weren't reprinting in Sword and Shield was because then in Scarlet and Violet, they changed the pack styles. So, Mason kind of pointed that out, that the pack material changed. So the question was, were they not able to get the pack material for Sword and Shield? So that's why they weren't reprinting the booster boxes, just doing small reprints. So there's a lot of speculation. But Pokemon doesn't like changing between prints. They don't like making designations between a reprint by different products ever since they got away from the first edition and that. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Jimbo says I didn't get home till after 30 minutes after I got the notification. I knew it wasn't going to get anything. Wait, the line still didn't matter. No, the line helped. I mean, the line gave people, I think, more people accessibility. I think more people got the Elite Trainer boxes versus bots, Jimbo. I think that's really the big difference this time. Is I've heard a lot more successful stories of people getting Pokemon Center the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes rather than people just not getting them at all or not having opportunity because they were sold out immediately. So I think the sellout still happened in the same time frame. I just think the people that got them were more individuals, more of the normal people that were wanting them, rather than bots just buying hundreds of them really rapid fire on the website. So, no, very popular set. Not surprised at all. I'm actually surprised it lasted that long. I still think that slowed it down a little bit because I think between the bots and the potential of that site crashing, it could have been a disaster for a release on that without the queue. Frank says, I got the link from Roxandy. Had to get back in the queue once I got the link. Oh, yeah, you didn't have the direct link. Gotcha. Antonio also heard that Pokemon Center was rejecting payments. Yeah, I never heard. I've heard some people say that, but I never had an issue with any payments on that. Horizon, is this behind the scenes of Broadway stream? No, this is me sitting in a hotel room in Madison. So, yeah, I'm not in my studio. I'm actually down in Madison right now, Madison, Wisconsin. So I'm about 4 hours south of my place. We have to go and do some lobbying with our agricultural group, Farm Bureau, and then also some school stuff that we got to go lobby for as well. So we got a couple days where I'm meeting with politicians down here. We had some meetings today when I'm done my live. That's why it's actually going to have to start calling it quits here on live. I normally would go an hour, but I've got some individuals down in the lobby I got to meet with at 10 o'clock here and go and talk to some of the lobbyists, also a couple election people coming up for election and stuff looking for endorsements. So we've got some work to do that we have to go discuss. And like I said, probably be out until 1, 2 in the morning tonight and then get up about 7 tomorrow. We got to go eat and then go to the Capitol. We got to go meet with some other lobbyists on some agricultural issues, some bills and things like that we're really working on right now to try and pass for some agricultural protection from and some compensation for damages that are being caused by wildlife here in northern Wisconsin that just aren't being covered any longer with the increase in costs and everything on the fields. So yeah, not behind the scenes, just relaxing in a hotel room on my cell phone instead of in my studio where I normally. So that's why I'm really not doing anything with numbers tonight, just so everybody knows. I'm just not pulling numbers because it would take me too long on my cell phone to do that. So we're just sitting here chatting rather than searching through and making calls on what the pricing is and how things are doing. Hideous says, I noticed that Destin's Rivals booster boxes descriptions don't say anything about the enhanced or topper. I did notice that too. A couple other people can say that too. I don't know if it has it or not, because the Journey Together says 36 plus one enhanced top or enhanced plus one enhanced card is what it says in the description for Journey Together. It does not say that for the Destin's Rivals here. So a little bit of a change. Horizon says, can you talk to the politicians about increasing Pokemon stock? Are you there? I don't know if Wisconsin legislature really has much to do with the overall performance of Pokemon or what happens in our federal government. So I'm really not able to do much on that part. So I'm not that big of a bigwig. I'm just kind of, a state pain in the butt, not a federal pain in the butt. So yeah, that's basically, I don't know if they'll be able to do much for us there on Horizon. Otherwise, I would definitely push that. I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up in conversations. I will go talk to Chaz Green tonight when we have our sit-down meeting with him here at 10 o'clock. And I'll definitely tell him he needs to get on Pokemon's butt and get us some more product, at least here in Wisconsin. Yeah, everybody else will figure you out later, but we'll work on it in Wisconsin. We'll make a mandate or make a bill that they have to release 10,000 or 100,000 booster boxes here. Frank, Jimbo, the email went out a 10 to 15 after drop. You had plenty of time, just queue was dumb long. Yeah. And that was, some people was long. It depends on when you got into it. So, like I said, I know Antonio said 10. I was 15 to 20 on both of mine. Some people I heard was an hour, and then some people were like an hour and 15 minutes, and they didn't get any product. So it really varied depending on when you jumped into the queue and how long you were in the queue. So I had two computers, one with my wife's account, one with my account, and then we got in on both of them. Probably, like I said, less than 20 minutes I was in on both of mine, but I was there right at drop at 10 o'clock for that particular set. So, all right, guys. Well, like I said, I wasn't going to stay very long. I just wanted to do a quick little update on the queue system for Destin's Rivals through Pokemon Center. I just wonder if that queue is going to kick in on any release, if they've actually just got it set when so many people are in Pokemon Center that it'll automatically engage that, or is it going to be one of those things where they're just going to do it on releases? That's going to be the really interesting. I want to see the Dark Wobbuffet on the ETB. They did not release picks yet. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. I want to see that too. I think that's going to be a really cool card. Pokemon Center kept auto refreshing. I originally was in Q15 before drop. Yeah, you couldn't. So I found that out, and I was doing it because I was on my computer. If you went in the queue and you left your computer alone, it would auto refresh. If you were on your computer and still working, it wouldn't refresh. So my wife was working and I was working, so it did not auto refresh. But I heard people saying that's what was happening. Oh, on your phone. I didn't do it on my phone. No, I've had that happen before on my phone, back in even 2021, where it would do that. Yeah, the web browser on your phone will auto refresh. They it's like they don't want phones in on Pokemon Center during that time period. So yeah, if you want to get on those products, it's probably, yeah, if you're at work, then you're probably in trouble. So yeah, no, that's one of those things. Yeah, if you were on your phone, you're probably not in a good place when it came down to that. It's probably not such a good deal on that point. So yeah, so this is my view for tonight. I'm not a big a city person, but we get the nice bustling lights of the city, so we do what we do. We just kind of gotta keep moving and get things done. So, and this ain't even the city. I kind of laugh, but I'm on the 8th floor, so I'm a little bit high up for me. But yeah, so we're in Madison, Wisconsin tonight. Just kind of fun to get out and have some fun. I want to catch up with you guys, at least talk about the system, talk about that stuff. We'll get back to it next week. I'll be home. So we'll start breaking down some numbers and going into things like we normally do at that point in time. Phone for me was smooth in queue for 1 hour. It's interesting. I did it on my phone. I left it on YouTube and it did not refresh. Oh, that would work too. Okay, so once again, it seems like the ultimate saying is just don't set your phone down and do nothing with it. So maybe that's the queue futuristically. I didn't trust my phone because I would sit there and get in a queue, and then I put my phone down and go to work and do something else and keep periodically checking my phone to see if I was in. And it would not refresh, it would auto refresh and put me back in the back of the queue. So maybe that's the trick. There's tricks to everything. You just got to figure them out when it's all done. So let's see. Antonio, I didn't. Okay. Minimum YouTube for a page will not refresh. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, yeah. So you're just agreeing with him. Kenobes, thank you so much for joining in. What's up, gang? Sorry, bud. I'm just about to head out. I got to go meet with somebody here in about 15 minutes. So I've got to, about 15 minutes? Yeah, cruise out of here. Yeah, a little over 15 minutes. So I got to get cruising out of here. Things aren't the same without you. Get home soon. Yeah, I'll be home. Like I said, it's just it's 2 nights here today. Or today was day one. Today was really going over Farm Bureau stuff and working on that part, and then tomorrow is going to be school, so I got to go and do school stuff, lobbying for some of the stuff for schools and other politicians too, Senate side and everything down here. So yeah, great talking, guys. Like I said, greatly appreciate for everybody that's joined me here on this short little live that we're doing here. A little bit fun though. I kind of like doing it in a different location and kind of. To me, I'm more of a walk and talk, so if I make you sick because I'm walking around, I do apologize. I usually talk on the phone and walk all over the place. I usually put about 100 miles on when I'm talking. So, once again, greatly appreciated to everybody that's joined me here tonight. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you leave. It's greatly appreciated if you can do so. Definitely helps out the channel. It helps things along. Once again, I have not been doing any kind of rip and ships for the last 3 weeks. I've just had other issues, and some things just had to go, and that was one of them. So sales are good. Rip and ships, don't know how they're doing. Assuming it's going to do really well here in the near future as this thing kicks off here with Journey Together coming off. I'm sure it's going to be a busy weekend. But other than that, things are still moving. Everything's still going good in Pokemon market. Things sell really well. So if you were buying stuff here last summer, you're probably doing fantastic right now on your turnarounds on those particular products. All of them are doing well. Everything that you would have bought in the product in last like May, June, July, August, and September, definitely doing well. Be checking it out here in the summer. Of course, summertime is usually our down peak for Pokemon. Just keep in mind, too. Don't know if it's going to happen this year, but typically summer is a slowdown for our Pokemon sales, so that's definitely an opportunity to be picking up things, too, because some people still got to have cash flow. So watch it as the market changes. Things may continue to fall and give you some opportunity. But otherwise, thank you guys, everybody. Peace out for everybody that's joined me here this evening. Greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button. And we will be back next Tuesday. We'll be back in the studio here talking to you guys as well. Otherwise, we will, of course, I'm going to say it every time, every live. If you guys want to help out and join the channel's membership, be greatly appreciated. Trying to get 30 people here for the year. That's my goal for 2025 is to get 30 members in the channel. So if you could help me out, join the Emoji Club and help me get a cup of coffee every day of the month is my goal. Hopefully you guys can help me out with that. Otherwise, we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.